Abraham believed God and followed him. And he has impacted the history of this world more than what the world calls great. Israel was called to be a great nation. It says, I'll make you a great nation. That's Israel. Not because it didn't have more money or more wealth or more conquest or more land, but it was great in God. It brought God to the world. It brought God to you. And so all these other nations, all these kingdoms that tried to destroy it are gone, and yet Israel's still here. Because God said, I will make of you a great nation. Should you aspire? Yes, to be great in God, to live a life of greatness in God. God calls you to that. He says, I want to enlarge your tent. Look at the difference God makes when he enlarges a life. Had God not made Abraham great, had not enlarged him, had Abraham not followed him, you never would have heard of the guy. Avram, you would probably have the name Abraham wouldn't be a name today. He would be one of countless people who lived and died in ancient times in ancient Babylonia, never heard of him. Look at the effect of God on this shepherd boy, David. God enlarged him. David followed him. God made him great. If that had not happened, you never heard of a guy named David. You wouldn't have known anybody named Dave. Davy Crockett, gone. The Dave Clark 5, David Letterman, gone. Because of that little shepherd boy. Because of God enlarging a little Hebrew boy named David. He would have been an obscure Hebrew shepherd in the 11th century instead of the great king and servant of God and psalmist. This guy named Amos, he was a fig tree farmer. You never would have heard. All he would have done is fig trees instead of the great prophet. Esther would have been an orphan, lost in exile, the exile of Israel. You never would have heard the name Esther instead of the great heroine who saved her people. The Apostle John would have ended up just a fisherman. No one ever heard of. Instead of the disciple, the beloved, the author of the Gospel of John, the book of Revelation, and Simon. He would have been the same, an obscure Judean fisherman of the first century that would have lived and died without you ever hearing of him, instead of the man who was known as Peter, the apostle, the author of the book of Peter, the beginning, the head of the church itself. And all the people named Peter, they would have disappeared. No Peters. And the young Hebrew woman named Miriam, who would have lived her life in an obscure hilltop village, poor in the heart of Israel, poor and unknown, in an obscure town, living and dying without anybody knowing of her from the ancient world. Instead, known to the world today as Mary, the Virgin Mary. That's the difference God makes. God came to each of them and basically said, I want to enlarge your tent. I want to enlarge your life. I want to make you great. He called them to greatness. And the thing is, that is what he wants to do with you. He said, well, he can't. No, yeah. Everybody's different, but the call is just as great. Enlarge your life. Enlarge that calling. What kind of great in God's sight, true greatness, lasting great.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Cahn, and I hope you were blessed with the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Feel free to share your reactions with your comments and how you were blessed, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.